If you're wondering where we've been,
this episode is us explaining the gap, but next week
we're going to the vault.
Going to the vault, baby.
Welcome back to Beer Me That Movie, the podcast that took a 5-month hiatus and came back with 0 answers and the same premise. If you're wondering where we've been, fair question.
This episode is us explaining the gap, doing some recalibrating, and then immediately going back to making fake movies like nothing weird ever happened.
Like, what would be something weird that happened, like a podcast just up and dropping? That's actually really common.
It is common. They disappear like mediocre Netflix shows, John. They just gone. And some great Netflix shows.
I was going to say, all the ones that,
all the
Netflix shows that I have subscribed to just die randomly.
That's right, that emotionally have captured me. Those are the ones that don't get renewed. There are too many cliffhangers in the world. That's where AI will come in, John. They'll finish all these shows for us.
After it takes my job and raises my children.
It'll invent a site called Nextflix, and it'll just be all the shows, the unfinished shows, finished.
I mean, honestly, though, I would subscribe.
Everyone would. So, sorry, I just put that idea out in the universe. The AI would have figured it out.
I want to see Corey and Topanga as an old couple.
Right. On a Martian
moon
colony.
AI, you interpreted this the wrong way. Not like that.
You don't need this. You don't need to see them wrinkly and old.
Why is she wearing leather?
Right. Protects her from the radiation on the moon where they're forced
Corey
to
got
live.
a dog bone in his mouth.
A lot of creative liberties here. First episodes were good, and then it all went to hell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's hopefully not going to happen here. I mean, it won't. We're still humans. This is us, not AI, which is something an AI would say, but it's not. It's us.
I promise I'm terrible at math, and I have spelling errors everywhere.
That's right. As do I. So, yeah, we're humans. We're still Jon and Harrison. We're here, and we are back and excited about it. Hope you guys are too.
Yeah, and so let's kind of get into it and talk about a little bit of what happened, I guess.
Yes, that's right. We'll check in and do some checking in. So first things first, John.
The real reason we're here.
That's right. Before we go any further, let's see if we remember how to open a beer. John's working on it. We're good. We're in.
Found it. There's a little clicker on top.
Ooh, all right. First off, cheers, John.
Cheers, Harrison. It's good to be back in the shed.
My partner in crime. All right, and we're drinking, for those at home, Sierra Nevada's Celebration, which I hid some away for this exact night to celebrate with Celebration. Their fresh hop IPA, 6.8% ABV. It's delicious. It's amazing. Everyone knows it's one of our favorite beers, and it still tastes great.
I'm already sad that there's some of it gone.
I know. Ooh.
Right? What's the best part about doing a podcast? Well, drinking a beer with Harrison.
That's right. Making guttural noises and sipping into the mic. Where's that master edit of us just going,
right? Get it.
It's out there. It's a lot of work. We're not going to make it, but
one day AI will do it.
Sure.
It'll be on Nextflix.
Nextflix. That's right. That'll be there.
I just want a compilation of Harrison smacking his lips. That's the Food Network got it started, but Harrison keeps it going.
Yep. Nothing like listening to people swallow. That really triggers a lot of people, listening to other people eat, swallow. It is disgusting, but there's plenty of it here.
Good mouthfeel. Real crispy. Ooh, little bitter. It's delicious. It tastes like a beer with a little flavor, and I like that the word on it is Celebration.
Me too. Yeah, it tastes great still. Always does every year. Sad it's gone, but we have 2 more to enjoy right now. So we're going to drink this beer and get to catch up. And we thought it'd be a cool idea to pull all of you who are interested into this catch up we're going to do right now. Kind of, as we said, do some dissecting, some talking, some explaining, some recalibrating. There'll be laughs, jokes, maybe some more beers.
Crying.
Maybe some crying. maybe some burping. A lot of things are going to come out of our body that we can't control. Who knows?
I would say I would edit the burps out, but I want to keep it authentic, and I'm not that good of an editor.
There are people out there who pay just to listen to that master cut of us sipping and slurping and burping, John.
Yeah, when you started saying master cut, I went somewhere else with that.
Cut. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we've got a couple questions for each other. We figured that'd be the easiest way to do this instead of me just rambling the entire time and John hoping I take a breath to get a word in. We structured this so that we're both talking, we're both answering things, and getting you guys some info, because I'm sure you saw this pop up on your feed. You're like, cool, they're back. What the heck happened? So most Hollywood types wouldn't tell you. They'd pretend it was nothing. They change their hair. They change their pants.
You were gone.
They change their face and be like, what are you talking about? I was on a hiatus. I was stuck in St. Bart's. I couldn't get home for 3 years.
They don't have podcasting there.
Right. So we're not going to hide from it. We're going to talk and hang out. And yeah, so let's do that. Okay. So I had the first question. All right, John, at what point did the podcast just kind of stop being a thing we could do?
Probably after the first or second episode. No, I think it was, so that's a great question to start with. The podcast we've always done is like a hobby. Harrison and I are friends, but anyone that's our age knows that a friend is just a title for someone you don't get to see anymore.
Oh,
so
yes,
this podcast for Harrison and I,
here come the tears,
was very much like, it was a mechanical excuse where we could hang out, like ignore the families, and like we have this recurring date where Harry and I come and do work in the shed.
That's right. Important work.
And it was really fun, and it helped keep that relationship, and it helped me keep my sanity.
Yes, likewise.
For me, it was about in middle of August that I realized the family that was giving me the blessing of one weeknight every 2 weeks alone was falling apart.
Yeah.
So without getting too into details, I kind of just took a look at my life, and I said, like, okay, one, I'm not in the mindset to even laugh right now.
Yeah.
And two, it's fun to record with Harrison, but then there's a lot of work in the background, like
folks
researching all the beers that we talked about and putting notes up for the podcast and putting it on all the different podcasts. And Harrison makes social media, and we do artwork, and all that stuff is fun.
Yep.
But it was just, I didn't have the mental capacity to even feed myself food for a long time.
Yep.
So that was, I reached out to Harrison and I was like, I can't make it this week, but I'll probably be able to make it to our next recording. And then it all fell apart. So he was very graceful. Thank you, Harrison, for saying, like, look, take all the time you need. Let's get back to this when it's right. But for me, that we'll say family issue is what really made me say, like, I have to stop doing the podcast and virtually anything that isn't a life necessity. Even eating, right, was like, I don't have to do this. I will absorb gin through my body.
Right, through all the orifices. Yes, that's right. And obviously that's important. So this was a no-brainer to take a pause, and because again, it's supposed to be fun. We don't want this to be a chore, even though John's absolutely right. I mean, the amount of work that John, mostly outside of recording is insane. You're putting out you're producing an entire podcast. It's wild, the time and the hours and all that stuff. So we're all indebted to you, John.
I used to think it made me like smart or a man to be like, I do it all myself. I learn how to do it. And then when you look at anyone that's successful, they're like, nah, I just pay someone else to do it.
It's all about outsourcing. Oh, delegation.
So I learned something important, is that I'm not smart or I'm just stubborn, and I like to do it my way.
Oh, man.
But going back to that time, like around the time I reached out to you, Harrison, what was something that you felt like we just didn't have the bandwidth to do during the last, 5 months we haven't been in the shed?
Yep. I think it was very clear. We were just trying to kind of power through and in survival mode, which many of the country and the world is in right now as well, which it's extremely stressful and difficult. It takes up a lot of energy when every day feels like you're drowning, and then somebody hands you a job to do because you need to keep your lights on. That's worse. That's horrible already. Try to add something fun on top of that, it just silly. So, I think me personally, I had just about enough power to like work and play a video game for an hour and then sleep. And that was about it. And I kind of lived in that hamster wheel for a bit, which was good. And that's what we're obviously, that's why we're back now, is we feel recharged and think we can do the podcast justice. So we're here to do that and put our best foot forward. But yeah, we just didn't have bandwidth for really anything other than what we were doing. And that became very clear right away. So we just said, cool, let's just do this for a bit. Let's not fight the current. Let's let this river take us where it's going to take us, and we'll get out when we can.
Best way not to drown.
That's right. Is just, don't fight the current. Well, most of the time.
I don't know. I've never drowned.
Right, exactly.
I just stay away from rivers.
Easy for you to say. Some ghost at the bottom of the ocean right now. I was like, these fucking guys don't get it. You should fight, always fight. I got pulled right into the mouth of a whale. I didn't fight it with the current. I'm dead. So we don't know anything, but that's why you're here, to not learn, to laugh and go, God damn, Harrison is an idiot. You're not alone. I laugh at myself as well when I watch these things. All right, so I have a good one, I think, John, for you, and I kind of have a answer to it as well. But what was one of the things that surprised you about taking time away? What surprised you?
Wow. Okay, so I won't. Again, I'll just keep saying I won't get into exactly what happened. There's a lot of surprises there.
Yeah.
But two things that were really one, I learned how quickly I can forget everything I know about podcasting.
Right.
Like even coming into the shed tonight to get set up, I was like, are the microphones turned on? Right. How do we ever do this?
Yep.
But the thing that surprised me that was actually really uplifting is we had a couple of people reach out after we'd missed a few episodes, and like Harry and I do this, and most of the time it's me and him talking about what are we going to record, what are we going to talk about in that movie, and we're in a shed with the two of us and a camera and some microphones.
That's right.
So hearing people vote for their beers is always nice, but after we stopped showing up with the episodes and a couple of people reached out, it like that. I mean, I had there was one day where I read this at a time in my life where I felt incredibly low, and I had man tears, tears of a man, different.
Tears of a man, great band.
Up in my eyes, it was just so cool to be reminded that it's not always just me and Harrison. Like sometimes we're helping someone get through a rough day at work on the drive home, and that was it was really touching. I appreciate everyone that reached out.
Yes, thank you if you reached out. We read all your messages. Sorry if I didn't reply to all of them. I know John was very good.
I tried, but some days I was just I just took it. I just took it and ate that as nourishment for my soul.
Yes.
And never had the opportunity to actually say anything back. So this is my best effort. What about you, Harrison? You said you also a couple things surprised you.
What surprised me was kind of how talking about souls, the emptiness of my soul, John. I was like, and when this podcast disappeared, out of my life, I was like, what am I? Why do I exist? I was like, why am I here? Surely it's not to work and be a father and a husband. It's got to be something more. Why am I here for me? But I had many weeks, certainly early on, it happens whenever you change kind of a habit or routine, probably, where you're just like, you find yourself with more time and you're like, what is going on? And that can mess with your head, mess with anybody's head. But it certainly did with me, where I wasn't even doing as much work as you were, but I was trying to get on Opus every day and post stuff and edit stuff. All that time was back. So I would work and then be like, oh, I'm going to take a break to do nothing. Why am I so not like my
and then
day
anxiety kicks in.
Right.
You're not being productive.
The fight or flight happens. Yeah, so that was something that I wasn't expecting, kind of just feeling this emptiness that the podcast obviously took up. And then it gave me that kind of scary preview of like, oh God, Harrison, one day this will actually end. What the hell are you going to do? Now, I think John and I have an answer for that, which that's all we'll say today. But I'm glad my existential dread might be able to just keep being delayed, forever. We'll just keep putting that into forbearance and hope I never have to pay that bill.
We've still got what, like
That's
about
true.
about 20 more feature films we promised we would make for the Beer Me That Movie podcast.
Yes, about that.
And then I think Harrison teased a little bit, but we'll probably have to find something to do next because life can be too much without an escape.
Exactly right, and I think that was the takeaway, which we talk about a little bit tonight. Is like it's great to. I've always been a like work for the fun thing, work for the weekend guy.
I'll vouch for that.
You know, of like we've been lucky to have jobs. We work together at places that we wanted to be at. Place that, you know, we were at Untapped. That was an app we used before we even worked there. Like for me, that was a dream come true. But you know, that's not if your job is your life. I don't know. Some people make that work. I can't.
I've never.
Something else.
I guess I just never got lucky and found one of my first jobs in Buffalo was working at Mighty Taco.
That's right. Which we talked about here.
That if I could, if there was a Mighty Taco close to me and I could afford it, that job was fun.
I know.
But also I was 16, so everything was fun.
Everything was fun.
But let's elaborate on what the thread you're pulling, Harrison. Like, what did you miss most about doing the podcast? Like, what did you think you'd miss, and what did you actually end up missing?
Right. Well, the thing I knew I would miss is Jon. He's right here. He's back. So that makes me happy. So obviously, and I actually missed him, so I was right there. What I ended up missing, which maybe was a surprise or whatever, beyond the what the hell do I do with my life, was the kind of that feeling of using your brain for fun. You know, we both kind of work jobs where I kind of do the same thing every day, which can kind of just like wear a track in your brain of like, if you don't break out of it, you can wait. We used to have stories of people we work with who said the same thing every day so much they'd wake up and sleepwalk through their house talking the talk track they would talk on their phones with clients in the middle of the night. That's how deep it goes into your brain. There's not even time to dream about, you know, flying around or mermaids or whatever people dream about. You're just stuck at work all the time.
Even in your dream, even in your sleeping hours.
That's right. So that's not healthy. So yeah, I definitely felt that right away of like my brain is just deteriorating. It's stuck in some loop. This is horrible. And not for nothing, I mean, you know, I'm if you guys haven't noticed, our dynamic is I'm the eternal optimist, Jon is the realist. We work well together.
Realist on a good day.
But, you know, but I've always said that I think everyone has their one great idea. I think this one is this podcast. And we appreciate every single person that's listening to this right now. Like, you guys are amazing, guys and gals. You're the best. We'll always remember you as OGs for listening to it. But I think that it exists, and that exists on YouTube and stuff. I'm hopeful that someday some intrepid grad student that's studying the fall of humanity discovers this podcast and is like, this is kind of funny. And then in 2300, we become a hit on the moon or Mars, but if you go to cryo sleep, just put on Beer Me That Movie. When you wake up, you'll be at the last episode. I believe this podcast is going to live on long beyond us. And as Jon said, even more important than that, if it makes 3 people laugh and makes their day better, that's cool. That's very cool, and that's a cool thing to do, and we're lucky to be able to do it. So, and I always kind of knew that, but it came to the surface missing it when we weren't doing it. Of like, oh man, we were talking to people, sharing fun stories with them. They were talking back to us. That was amazing. So grateful to have the shot to come back. Hopefully you guys have all found us again and are hearing this right now. Okay. So, all right, I'll ask Jon a similar but different question. So was there anything about the break that was actually kind of good for you?
Ooh. Again, I'll stop reminding and not actually being specific about what was so tragic and horrible and put me into therapy. Therapy was helpful.
Yeah.
Learned a lot about issues that I think probably everyone I've ever known deals with. So that was totally unrelated to the podcast, but it did happen because we paused the podcast and I had time to kind of sit back and think and have someone else tell me what I'm thinking that is incorrect.
That's good.
And work on that. Like that Nothing is broken or fixable, but learning some of the like anxiety is a big problem for me. Like Harrison, when you were talking about you have free time and what do you do with it?
Right.
That's me all day. That's why I like editing the podcast. Because if I'm in my kitchen, I'm like, I have to do something. It's time to rip up the floorboards and put new ones down and repaint them, I guess. So like, and I always thought that made me like a good, productive person.
Right.
But I started to learn kind of where that comes from. And in the next 30 years of my life, if I make it that far, I want to continue learning about that so that I could actually enjoy not having anything to do just for 5 minutes. But I don't want to be stressed when that happens.
Absolutely.
And I mean, also like related to the podcast, there was some time to kind of think about what we had done and what we had built and replay some of the old episodes and think about some of the movies that we've made up. So it did kind of impassion me to not just, we have to come back and record another episode because it's Thursday, but also like I was excited to kind of think about how we can make more movies for the rest of this podcast. And that excitement, I think, if I'm being honest with myself, had kind of been tamped down over the year we had done it, the first half, we'll say.
Yeah.
What, Harrison, I'll pitch it back to you. What do you think past us, we'll say version 1 and 2, Harrison and Jon, what do you think we would have messed up if we tried to say, well, we have to keep going, we can't miss an episode, and like forced ourselves out into the shed? What do you think we would have messed up?
I think everything. I really think, and I've kind of come to this conclusion in my more recent years, that creativity can't be forced. It would kind of turn into some dumpster fire or some half-hearted thing. The world does not need more of those. But I really think when we're in here and we're in the zone and we're having a good time and we're laughing, there's something going on that we can't explain. We're tapping into some something, I don't know what to call it, some energy force or some
the fifth dimension.
Yeah, exactly right. The muffin verse. We're in we're in deep somewhere, goofy and sometimes gooey. But that's a place that like you can only access, I think, if you're mentally able to go there. And when you're stressed out, it's very hard it's just hard to do it. And I wouldn't want to ruin that experience and that connection that we have when we're in here and we are able to disconnect from the world. It's, we're lucky to be able to do that. There are many people who cannot at the end of the day take a break and disconnect. But knowing that about ourselves and about the creative process of like, this is not a thing where you can walk into a room. I'm not Beethoven. I can't just force an opus out of myself. I need to be able to feel like I'm able to float away from the world for a bit, and clearly we couldn't do that. So whatever would have happened would have been some weird thing, and then it would have just possibly, and this is the maybe even more upsetting or sad or whatever, is like could have just ruined the podcast for us. We could have tried to force through it, had 3 or 4 episodes, and been like, I can't do this anymore, and both of us walked away forever. And that's obviously, that would have sucked too, because like Jon said, we've got more ideas and more funny things and more beers to drink, and to have cut that short because we were trying to rush through it, that would have sucked. So I'm glad we were wise enough to say, no, it's not worth it. Let's not rush it. Let's just wait. The time will come. And indeed it has. So there you have it. All right, I've got another one for Jon. What did this time change about kind of how you think or how you want to do the show going forward, Jon? What we got any insights from taking a step away?
It's been 5 months. I have to remember how to do editing again.
Yeah, right.
I'll come back, but
it will.
In those 5 months, like the whole world has shifted into super AI mode.
Oh, that's very true. That's right.
And AI, we did an episode shortly before the break called You versus You.
Right. That's true. We did.
AI
Agnosticators over here.
It's like kind of bled into, even if you're a staunch anti-tech person, like AI's already, you've at least gotten 6 emails from an AI today in the time you've been listening to this podcast. So like, my thought was, it's exciting as the guy who always wants to be on the cutting edge, but also I really think we weren't using AI to make the show, but if anyone watches on YouTube, you saw the artwork, and like AI can be really helpful. It can be a helpful tool. It's also grossly, confidently wrong a lot.
Right.
And it just loves to boost up your horrible ideas that are also wrong. So like what I thought coming back to the show is like I wanted to be more of like Jon and Harrison, some authenticity.
Yeah.
Like the reason when we were gone, I would listen to podcasts about trauma and therapy and stuff, and I would also listen to other podcasts, and the ones that I valued were like a real conversation that I used to be able to have at a bar back when you could smoke in a bar and the world was pure. But like nowadays, like sure, we've adapted and we've changed. I'm not saying anything's wrong, but like I miss that connection and that community, and that's what I want when I listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
So I want it to be more of Harrison's harebrained ideas and me saying like, no, Muffin couldn't survive in space without her space skirt. She needs the space skirt. It gives her like whatever, but like having fun and being authentic is where I want. That's my priority with the show going forward.
Yes. Love it. And it's, I think, more valuable than ever, John.
And so, last question on this thread. Do you ever, did you ever think, Harrison, like you kind of mentioned it before, like that might be the end, like maybe what we did with the episode that we left on, which was a Fast Five. Did you ever think like that might be it? And if you did, what helped you turn that around?
I always had faith, John.
Of course you did.
I know, the eternal optimist. I'll be that till the day I die, and then I'll be wrong, but I'll be dead, so it won't matter. I always had faith. I remember the strong, wise words of the dump truck of doom, John, who once said right before Greg threw exploding alien penises at a monster army horde.
God, we did make some good movies.
It's not about who we lost along the way. It's about who's still here. That was supposed to be Nick Nolte as the dump truck of doom. John did a better dump truck than I did that episode. That was like some grandmother from New Jersey. But anyway, the sentiment remains. We're still here. And I knew as long as we were, this adventure was going to continue when the time was right. So that was truly, like I was not worried about it. I was more concerned about you as a human, and knew that where are we going? What deadline are we up against? Like if this happened a year from now, 3 years, I didn't care. I knew we would finish this adventure. I also know that you're a very organized person, John, and you would probably have, as I did, that like we said we'd do 50 episodes.
You're right.
We need to finish this. Like that would just start to eat away.
I would have fought the Reaper himself. Like, you can take my soul, but I need to finish
That's right.
these.
We got it.
I made a promise.
We've got 28 episodes left or whatever. So yes, that combined with faith, OCD combined with faith.
That
gets me pretty far.
Equation for optimism.
That's right.
It's just OCD and faith. So wrapping up this kind of, we'll call it the intro here. You should be understanding that Harrison and I are adults, and we didn't intentionally ghost you. We just had to handle some of our shit.
That's right. Had to handle our shit.
We did for now, as anyone listening to this knows, shit comes. And there's nothing you can do to hedge against that. But I'll pivot a little bit, and I want to ask Harrison, like, let's kind of pivot the conversation maybe about the audience, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually, I've got a good question to kick that off for you, John. So now we're gonna have fun and put ourselves in your shoes and try to see what maybe conspiracy theories have been floating around the universe. So John, what do you think people assumed happened versus the reality of our little hiatus here?
Yeah, that's I mean, like my current job is working with a gigantic database of podcasts, and what I know is that like if you start a podcast, you have like a 7% chance that you're going to make it to 100 episodes. I think it's actually less than that.
Oh, really?
So a lot of podcasts start. It's is sort of easy thing to do, and then it becomes work, and then you're like, oh, I don't have time for that anymore. So I assume a lot of people just thought, they kind of got burnout or tired, or like Harrison had another kid and had to dedicate to whatever life.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure one person thought I actually died from diabetes.
There's always
diabetes does kill. It'll probably kill me, but
not yet.
But not yet.
today.
Not until I get to that last
Wilfred.
episode of Beer Me That Movie. But I had someone reach out asking, like, is John still alive? Is the count?
Oh, no.
Is everything okay? So I mean, again, I thought it was sweet.
Yes.
It wasn't diabetes that killed me. I don't even think it was diabetes related, although everything in my life is a little bit.
I guess so.
But I assume most people just thought, like anyone that's listened to this show, at least on some level, has kind of gotten to know us.
Yep.
And so in that, you know, you hear the dump truck of doom jokes throwing penises to prevent an invasion, sure. But also you have to realize that we're real people. So my assumption is like, life got in the way is what I thought. And if you assume that, you're correct. But if you assume diabetes killed me, you're wrong for now.
We're here. We're here. Diabetes is at bay. Oh, that's great. Yes, thank goodness.
What about you, Harrison? Did anyone reach out to you or even, like, if they did, elaborate on it? But I want to know what you think people thought when they didn't get their next episode, and then it happened for a lot of times.
We heard a lot of, like we said, a fair amount of you guys reached out. Hey, what's happening? When's the next episode? What's going on? Everything okay? Which was amazing. So I think they did assume something happened. They assumed it was life related, or like, oh well, what do you know? Two guys did a kind of elaborate podcast for free, decided it wasn't worth it anymore. I shouldn't be that surprised. Maybe something along those lines. I don't know. You know, I didn't dive too deep into that conspiracy rabbit hole. There are plenty of other conspiracy rabbit holes I couldn't get lost in. I was more focused on kind of just, you know, thinking about how to re-enter the orbit of Beer Me That Movie when the time was right, and then also like trying to make myself busy with something creative so I didn't lose my mind. Knowing that. And, you know, I mean, we could have, do I wish we made a post about it? Maybe. I thought about it a bunch of like kind of letting people know, like, we're not dead, we're alive, we're taking some time. But I don't know. Then that opens up like the cool, how long, what happened? You sometimes get well-meaning, but people poking around in your life maybe a little bit more than we wanted. So I decided against it. But
you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I learned that thing. I think I'm not a therapist, but that thing you're talking about happens to me a lot. Like where you're like, I'm going to do this post, but then what if all this stuff happens and you start making up these catastrophes that haven't happened?
I catastrophize everything.
And then you start like reacting to those, even if not like intentionally, like subconsciously, you start reacting to all this crappy stuff that you made up happen.
Yes.
And man, is that not like an exhausting, terrible for like, I've already saved the earth and battled an invasion of the world like so many times in my head before noon.
Yes.
You get someone emailing you at work, or your boss calls you in for a meeting or something, and you're already like, what am I going to do in 2 months when I'm living under a bridge and my family's left me because I can't afford to feed them anymore? And then your boss is like, hey, did you see that game the other day? And you're like, God damn it, you don't know how bad I made this out to be in my head.
I got to beat this guy up for half a sandwich right now. He stole my shopping cart.
One step. The game. Yeah. Go birds.
And we're back to reality. I do that stuff all the time. A lot of people do, I feel like. And it's probably, I don't know why, I'm not a therapist either, but I can imagine all of us have some weird gene that like once a million years ago, an ancestor like hunted a mammoth across the tundra for 9 months and then killed it. And they were like, we did it. We slayed the beast that ran through our village and killed everybody. And we don't get to do that now as humans. There is no great adventure waiting for us. So
no, the best you get is like per my last email.
Right. Or we just make them up in our minds. We're like, what if this is a catastrophe that I get to save the village from? And then we
doesn't have a box of MREs in their closet just in case.
I hope you should. Y'all should. Space blankets. Bunch of protein bars. Extra propane. Yeah. So, right. I know. And it's not healthy. You get stressed out over nothing. So I did a lot of that of like, what if? And that paralyzed me. So I'm sorry. I didn't post about it. But hopefully it also kind of just maybe disappeared from your life and now it's back and it's fun and it's flowery and great. So, so maybe that's the silver lining there that we disappear, but now we're back and let's laugh and drink some beer and have a good time. Okay, I have one that I want us both to answer, John, and it's broad, it's open ended, so you can go wherever you want with it. But what did you miss about doing this maybe the most?
What did I miss about doing this the most?
Yeah.
The first two things that spark in my mind are one, like mechanically, I miss after we record, I know I've got not, usually it's like midnight or 1 a.m. when I get home, but in the next day or two, I've got a lot of work to do going through and editing that episode. And I use that as a mechanic to like disassociate from the problems in my life or the responsibilities in my life or work. Yep. So like I missed I don't think it was healthy, but I missed immediately. I was like, man, I wish I could just dive in and listen to me and Harrison laugh and like make sure there's no burps, which I've never done. But I missed that. But I think like holistically or healthy, I missed having the mission and something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because, I have a 9 to 5 during the week. It's actually longer than that, but I have a job and I have job responsibilities and I have family responsibilities. Yep. And then you have like maybe a social life left over. If you're in your 40s, you have 2% of that.
Sure.
So like, unless you have to have something to look forward to is what I'm saying. And like Christmas is stressful. Thanksgiving is fun if no one comes over.
Yep.
Birthdays for me generally suck.
Right.
So like I missed having that recording with Harrison to look forward to. Like Monday sucks. Tuesday I got my ass kicked, but I know come Thursday after work, I'm going to be drinking a beer with Harrison and we're going to be breaking that down and laughing. So like I really miss having that to look forward to.
Oh yeah, John. Well said. That's exactly what it is. We had our little escape and then we didn't for a little bit. But again, now it's back. So I agree. Life is very sad when you wake up, work, go to sleep, and repeat, and that's it. And I felt like the quiet laugh of death being like, we'll be seeing Harrison sooner, I guess. His depression is skyrocketing. So that was scary and unwelcome. And what we're also talking about is the camaraderie. Like John's the best. We all know that. No one has made me cry laughing more.
Honestly, that is the biggest compliment I might have ever received from anyone.
It's very true. If only you guys could see the bloopers and the stuff that just happens in person that no one recorded. There have been times John and I have laughed in our old office where I couldn't breathe laughing. And maybe there's an old podcast we did together that's online that has us crying, laughing as well. Who knows? Anyway. So yes, that's tough when that disappears from your life, but it's back. But that camaraderie, as we've talked about community and connecting with people tonight a bunch, for us, we get to hang out with each other, and that's important because we both have remote jobs, and that's great. I don't go, when you said social life, I was like, oh, that's right. People do go to restaurants and they go out and see comedians.
Some of them.
I get to do that once a year. So this is it. This is it. This is my escape. John is my escape. Beer Me That Movie is my escape for now. I'm very codependent with John, as everyone's learning. But yeah, so that was absolutely what I missed. It was much deeper than just the podcast or even what the podcast represented. But for me, just like the big hole in my life of like connecting with another human instead of just sitting in here watching YouTube videos, talking to myself, and then realizing, oh, I gotta better eat something because I don't feel good, and then doing that, going to bed. Like that's that. There's more out there, and we're lucky to be chasing it down in all these make-believe worlds we're in every week.
I love that answer, honestly, because it's complimentary to me. Thanks, Harrison.
As it should be.
What? Let's break it down. Let's transition into what I hope everyone understands from that last segment is like Harrison and I are just dudes.
Just two dudes.
Dudes that are this is our social life and the thing we look forward to. But I want to get into more like what's going to happen next, or kind of like, actually,
why now?
Yeah. Like why are we doing, why did we come back? What are we going to do?
Right. And maybe that's another question that we imagine you guys are thinking. So why come back at all? We've kind of answered that personally, but then also there's a larger ask there. So why didn't we quietly just let this die, John?
Yeah, I thought about it. There were dark days since we've recorded the last episode, and I was willing to let everything just rot and die. Like, you know, what do they say? Ebbs and flows, roller coaster, all the ups and downs.
Jesus,
like,
yeah.
it's part of being alive, and the good times are great, and the bad times can really test and steal you.
That's right.
But I think they also make you, and I think Harrison and I are both men, which,
Yes, we are.
as I was raised, means stubborn. And like, kind of sitting back and realizing how much fun we had building this was enough of a reason for me not to want to just let it die. We've gone on and talked about like the community and your outreach to us, but also what the show means to us. So I don't think, like, there was a time where I was willing to give up on myself, but I don't think I ever wanted to like really let this like, there was never a question of, will we finish this? It was just, I have to get myself into a place where I can allow myself to laugh again.
Right.
Because when that happens, I can come back and ask Harrison if he's ready to podcast again.
Yes.
So that was deep.
It was deep.
What about Harrison? We'll pivot to something brighter.
Hopefully. Maybe. We'll see, John.
What do you think? So we talked about, it's been a couple of months. AI has changed. You could just ask AI to create a podcast called Beer Me That Movie, and it would probably do it for you.
Sons
and
of guns.
The jokes would suck, and they would be wrong. They'd be like,
totally wrong.
When Stalin moved to New York in 1997 to start a bodega, you're like, what?
That's where he went.
Aside from that, what do you think still works about Beer Me That Movie? You mentioned it's great. It's going to be listened to during cryo freeze trips to Alpha Centauri. Like, what do you think is still good about this podcast?
I hope so. Hopefully our brains are still good enough to do it, and we remember how to tell a story while also drinking beer. So that'll be a real good test. Is yet to be determined. But also, I do think, you know, this whatever. I'll sound like a Hallmark movie for a moment, but I do think original stories created by humans, it may be the most important time ever for them right now with AI doing whatever AI is going to do. And I don't want to, whatever. We may all be dead next month because of AI, but if not, I'll say this, there's plenty of room for us to do our own thing and AI do its own thing. I don't see it as some kind of looming enemy or threat. I don't think necessarily. But if anything, maybe put some interest in people that are doing stuff. Because, like, you're right. You could tell an AI to make another 7 seasons of Breaking Bad, and it would do it, and it would look exactly like Breaking Bad right now. And you go spend your night, weekend, month, whatever, watching that. Or you could choose to tune into a show like this where 2 guys drinking a beer and making up Breaking Bad themselves. And I hope there's still value in that, and people using their brains and stumbling around in the dark trying to find an idea and then landing on it like we've done a couple times, and it becomes enjoyable and fun, and there's something organic, I'll say, about it. But it is wild, and again, I think it's important now. We started this thing like when AI was kind of just beginning, and we had like nightmare Will Smith eating spaghetti through his forehead, and like it was horrible. And now again, you can have perfect Will Smith eating perfect spaghetti courtside at a Lakers game, and you have no idea that it's him or not. Maybe the spaghetti is a giveaway, but he's Will Smith. Maybe he brings back spaghetti around. He can do whatever he wants. Want to put it past him. So I hope that original human created content is still going to be valuable, and again, maybe even sought after when the perfect edges of AI exist or continue to refine itself. People hunt for, I want someone who burps and says a lot during a podcast. Well, where are your huckleberries?
We've got you covered with burps and ums and all the stutter words.
That's right. Saying ums a lot and me clearing my throat way too many times. All right, so we'll do this. John, what part of the show did you miss the most?
Oh, easy answer. Listening to Harrison's laugh. That there's about 7 different versions of
There
Harrison's
is.
laugh.
You're right.
You can tell the
7.
severity of the joke based on the one that you get. But like, if Harrison's laugh doesn't brighten your day, I have a wife and she has the social media account. I know this because once a day she'll show me a totally irrelevant video that almost upsets me. And it's like a random dog from Russia that happens to look like it's smiling.
Sure.
And she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, God, you don't know that dog. It's probably fake.
It's probably fake.
It's
AI dog.
Like, AI made a dog. Congratulations. Why are you sharing this with me? And like, I've learned that's not good to do in a relationship, but
sure.
But like, hearing Harrison's laugh is like medicine for my soul. And if you can hear Harrison's laugh and you don't want to tune in next week, then you're a sadist. Also, I miss hearing feedback about our ideas. I miss like, there's a vanity in that, sure, but like when we did what was it, Pumpkin, we got some great comments about that show, or like how other people would have maybe finished it. And
sure.
That collaboration. I mean, there's no one I want to build a movie with more than Harrison.
Right.
But then being able to share that and get collaboration or ideas from you guys, like, it felt like the podcast became a community for me in a time where everybody could use, or at least I could use, more friends.
Yes.
I wish we had a budget so that we could like fly listeners in and have a beer together and have like a Beer Me That Movie party. But
maybe someday. I like
but
that.
sometimes, you know, we're all so connected, yet no one is connected at all.
That is a tragedy.
I missed that feeling too, like, kind of feeling connected.
And one day maybe we'll do a behind the scenes type show where we talk about. There's a lot of the feedback we got, especially in the early days, from people listening to this show that helped us shape how we organized it and how we ran through each episode and stuff. So that's a whole other egg to crack later, but yes, John's
the first episode we did was a Fast 5. It was like a Fast 13 plus a movie all in one.
We did it all in one.
Oh God, that was something.
God, it was something.
He said with the disdain of a man never wanting to do that again.
That's right.
So okay, what would, if we didn't hit record again, if we didn't get back in the shed tonight? Now, this episode is just kind of like Jon and Harrison level setting and explaining where we've been and what we're going to do.
Reminding you what our voices sound like. Right?
If we didn't get back in the shirt again, what do you think that you would regret?
How many T-shirts I bought that no one gets to see.
Harrison says he's wearing a pretty dope hockey jersey, custom hockey jersey.
It's the old Clark Griswold jersey from... without the Blackhawks, because I couldn't do that, but from Christmas Vacation. That's right. Got this as a gift. But anyway, and plenty other T-shirts are coming, so everyone is tracking my T-shirt count. There's just nobody. No, but seriously, really everything. I mean, the laughs, the stories, like the laughs that we wouldn't have had, I would have missed that. The stories we didn't get to tell. I think we've had some good ones so far. Certainly, there's tons that I love that I can't believe we've created. So like that excites me. Like, where's the next hustle is weird, or where's the next juicy bits, or again, that's the coolest part about this when we zoom out a little bit, is like looking back, it's like, man, we stumbled upon what I think selfishly are some great stories.
I agree,
that no one else has told yet, that we've told here. What's next? When do we find another Pumpkinhead, another Bambi's Revenge?
Bambi's Revenge was a little over the top. Muffin is easily our biggest success story. I don't know.
Couch Time too. Couch Time is the one I think I went on a lot. Couch Time may have life in another form, but I won't.
What was the divorce one with Paul Rudd?
Oh, I just had it. Joint Resolution.
I still think that was like.
Oh, that's a movie that would have been made in the 90s.
With the bull.
Exactly. Fucking Ferdinand, which just Ferdinand just fell out of one
Ferdinand
of our heads.
Ferdinand would be played by Paul Blart, the mall cop.
Be Kevin James. That's right.
Dressed as Ferdinand.
In a bull outfit. We need more of that. We need more prosthetics and less AI.
Yeah, let's make TV fun again.
Let's make Kevin James, after he's lost 30 pounds or whatever, let's make him the size of a bull. Yeah. Sorry,
Kev. Gonna have to get you into the IHOP for a couple of months.
We need you bigger. Put the weight back on. So anyway, stuff like that, but a huge regret. And then, of course, like we talked about, not hitting that 50 mark. That was very cool of us and intentional. As some of you know, John and I have made multiple podcasts together. The tricky thing about podcasts is no one really ever puts an end date. It's like, here's our podcast. And then it's like, when does this end? How do we stop it? Can we stop it? No one likes doing stuff, the same thing forever. So we were smart, I think, in kind of giving us a finish line here to say, let's get to 50. And then we'll zoom out and see where we're at. We can say we successfully did Beer Me That Movie. So not getting there, that would have driven me mad.
Totally agree. It would have been on my, what's it called, headstone.
Yeah, right. Almost, yeah. He failed.
He failed at his own podcast. So getting through kind of some interview back and forth, Harrison, let's talk about what the plan is. Like, not every episode is going to be Jon and Harrison just waxing poetic about life.
Yep. Not every.
What are we doing going forward?
Going forward. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our quest to unseat Amy Poehler as best podcast at next year's Golden Globes starts now. Well, it starts next episode, but I guess technically this is a 2026 episode, so it starts now. Yeah. But next week, so here's our plan. Here's what we're looking at for the future. So Jon and I decided that we're going to next week release a feature from the vault.
We're going to the vault.
Going to the vault, baby. And actually, you guys have already been involved, but can continue to be involved in which one we pick. So if you don't know, beermethatmovie.com has the vault living on it. So you can vote on the movies that are in the vault, and we'll pick the one that has the most votes. Right now, Juice Above the Clouds is at the top, followed by Mom Jeans, which is from like our first or second episode. And then Vampire, which is that movie idea is, it took a couple different
I know that you love Vampire.
I love the idea. Vampires and pirates, John. What's there not to love? It's amazing. So those are the three. Jump on as soon as possible to beermethatmovie.com and vote if you want to influence what we do next week. But next week is going to be a vault beer. So
feature
a vault
film.
Feature, yes, which we haven't. We did one. We did what's it called? The Western one, right? We pulled that out of the vault, I believe.
We did. I think we did.
Back
before we actually had a vault online that people could vote on.
Correct. We had just kind of the vault
Rally
in our
Point?
minds.
Was that Rally Point?
Thank you.
That was like, I think that was our best performing episode for a while, too.
It absolutely was. A lot of people love Westerns out there, us included. So vault is next, and then we'll jump into a Fast Five, the episode after that, which you guys need to get back and vote on. And then we'll be back to kind of the normal cadence you're used to. We'll pick one of those Fast Fives that was voted on the most by you to be the next feature, and then we'll be back in the saddle. But we're going to kind of come back with a vault beer. I thought that would be fun. We've talked about it forever. You guys are voting on them. Exactly. We want to, this is what we said. It's what it's all about. You guys were here to make each other laugh, but also give you guys what you want to see. So right now, Juice Above the Clouds is sitting at the top.
Juice Above the Clouds was aged wrestler who needed to take a steroid shot to fight terrorists on an airplane.
To reconnect with his daughter.
Yes.
Stuck on the plane. Terrorists take it over, and he knows the only way to save this plane full of innocent people and himself and see his daughter is to take the last steroids he has in his bag, roid out, and punch his way to justice in the sky. So, yes, great idea, if I do say so.
I mean, I see that working. I could see Nick Nolte doing it. No, I can't do that voice again.
Come on. Yeah, but Mom Jean is right behind it, which was like a single mom who is also a scientist who makes some mutation that, like, turns the world into zombies, and now the mom and her kids have to save the world. That was fun. I like Mom Jeans. Mom Jeans has an 80s cult classic vibe to it, and then Vampire It.
Of course. Needs no explanation.
Yeah, needs no explanation. If you haven't, I don't remember what Fast Five that's in, but look that up if you haven't heard Vampire It before, because we had a lot of fun building almost that entire movie out in the Fast Five.
You'll know if John's really back on his game if you can see the links to the right Fast Fives for those somewhere in the show notes. If not, John's just going to link to beermethatmovie.com where you can go and vote.
Have an AI find it for you. Oh my gosh. All right, cool. So next week it's going to be back to normal, but we get to Yeah. So thanks for listening to this week. We have a couple more questions though for you, John, to finish up,
Okay,
just to make sure we're giving the people what they want.
We're going back to the old cadence. We're going to do a vault beer, then it's fast five feature like before.
That's it.
What else do you think we should cover?
Well, let's just let the people know what we're not trying to be anymore.
Well, I think we're not, as I kind of said before with the AI stuff, like we're not aiming for perfection. We may have never hit perfection, but I have forever considered myself a perfectionist. And I was like, that makes me good. Like perfection is the right way to do stuff. But again, therapy, what I learned is that oftentimes that slows me down, holds me back. So like perfection is actually not something I want to strive for, even though I still do it instinctually. But we're aiming for fun. So like if something goes wrong, if we forget to mention the sexy nun while we're in a feature, which has happened before, like I think that's okay as long as we're having fun and you're laughing or having fun with us or having a better ride home from work. That's all I want the show to be, is for us to have enough fun that you can listen and also put some of that life shit outside of your head for a little bit and just have fun yourself.
Yep. Let us replace it for a little while.
So that being said, Harrison, what does a good episode mean to us now?
I think it means we laughed a lot. Hopefully you guys laughed a lot. Or one of us made the other one go, oh shit, what a twist. Or the final line is, and that's how muffins sex another town to death.
I love muffin.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area there, but as John said, we're having fun, we're having laughs. That's the goal. The bar is hopefully not too high enough where we're not wasting your time, but not so high that we're losing our minds. Okay, well, now speaking of that, what pressure do we accidentally put on ourselves that no listener ever asked for, John?
I mean, to be fair, no listener ever asked for very much. Like you elaborated, Harrison, like people gave us some good ideas, like separate the Fast Five and voting and stuff. Like, and a lot of those ideas, to your point, help shape what the podcast is. I think when we started this, we knew that people are discovering podcasts on YouTube. Not everyone watches on YouTube. A lot of people still listen, but it was important to include that. And then I was like, okay, well, we need to have like 4K video quality and we need to make artwork to replace Harrison's Back to the Future poster and change it with every act of the movie. And editing then turned into like 2 or 3 days of all this granular detail work and like, I get it. That's me trying to push my agenda. But and sometimes it felt good. It felt good to look at it and say, like, that's good. We made that and it looks the way I want it to, as far as like 2 guys in a shed with 1 camera can look.
Right.
But I think going forward, like what I want is no one's listening to the show because the artwork looked cool or watching the show because the artwork looked cool. Hopefully it might benefit someone, but I don't think that's something we need to worry about. As long as the content of our conversation is good and, like you said, laughing, I think that makes me happy.
That's it.
And it's going to be really hard to allow myself to let some of those things slide, but we will no longer be color grading Beer Me That Movie videos. And if you don't know what color grading is,
don't tell John.
Good, because you shouldn't. It's stupid. What is, Harrison, what is something that you think like we used to overthink or spend a lot of time on, but like now looking at it going forward, like it feels kind of silly?
Certainly in the beginning, like nailing all the plot points. John and I have an elaborate kind of skeleton outline we use to make sure we're staying on track. And I would get too focused on it, I think, and get pulled away from the fun, the laughing, the building, the funny voices and the characters and all that stuff, and get too lost on like this checklist that doesn't really matter. We need some to make sure the movie starts and ends and there's a reason to care about the people in the middle, and we should probably stress them out somehow so that they can have a problem to solve. But outside of that, I think just laughing and having a good time is what matters, letting our zany brains do what they want. That's most important. We've done this long enough where hopefully the story kind of falls into place. So I'm happy. And that's taken many iterations of how do we map this thing out. And feel good where we're at right now.
A little bit of John's editing perfectionism coming through on your plot points.
Yes, it's hard. Yeah, it's
Big Nose is hammering
Big Nose
thing, and we're laughing and having fun. We don't need to cover the rest. We can just say, okay, and then they get to
the clogs. Is he coming with the
clogs?
Oh
God, yeah.
Feet?
Yeah, that's a good. I like that point.
Tough to be a sneaky murderer with wooden feet, John. You gotta be doing a lot of
mythical character.
Just walking on leaves a lot. You gotta soft carpeted floors, or you know he's coming. Okay, so John, if someone finds this show for the first time next week, what should it feel like to them? Let's do this. This is fun.
This is a good exercise. Okay, I want it to feel like they have been lost, not like full of dread, but like wandering, and they find a shed and they can see the lights pouring out of the windows in the shed. And they walk up to the door, which opens, and a beer immediately is handed to them.
Yes.
And they're sitting in the shed with these guys, Harrison and I, and it's a 90s basement, and we're having conversations, and we're making jokes, good, bad. We're laughing at both of them, and there's the freedom to kind of laugh and enjoy and say dumb shit.
Right.
And have it be appreciated for its dumbness or its humor, and let go of your inbox or your work responsibilities, or that like you're supposed to get a second mortgage, or you got to refinance, or like the Lexus needs a oil change. Like just forget about that for an hour. It should feel like you're hanging out with really good friends who just so happen to be making up a movie plot based on simply the name of a beer.
Yes, the simplest idea, but maybe the most powerful one we've got.
So last question for you, I think, Harrison, is then we talked about what someone, if they find the show,
Sure.
What is staying sacred about the show going forward, no matter what it evolves into? Like, what is one thing that will always stay the same about Beer Me That Movie?
Yeah, I think Beer Me That Movie, when you boil it down to its core, it's Jon and Harrison tell a fun story. And
I like that.
Right? And as long as we're doing that, everything else, everything you can add on to that statement is great. But that has to be kind of where it all starts, where it all ends. That you're having fun, that we're having fun, that there is a story here. Again, the beer is important. But everything else is cream cheese, as the coach from Teen Wolf would say.
Is that real?
Yes. Absolutely.
God, who wrote that line?
I don't know. Someone I should know. Great line. I forgot the whole line. The whole line's even better. I wish I could remember it now, but he ends it with everything else is cream cheese.
I mean, I like cream cheese. Seems kind of silly.
Sure. Well, the rest of it's even funnier. I wish I had the whole thing written down and could remember it, John. But
I forgive you.
That always, the cream cheese part's going to be. That's the goal. That's why we're here. Hopefully that's why you're here too, to see Jon and Harrison tell a funny story, fun story, laugh along, all the good stuff. And if you are, great, you're in the right place, and we'll stay true to that no matter what.
That's a great mission statement.
Indeed. And that's that's all you need is some North Star, and that's ours.
So that being said, you understand kind of vaguely, but you understand why Jon stepped away and why we were gone for a while.
Yeah.
And what we think about the podcast and why we're doing it and why we came back and what it's going to be going forward. We've got more movies to make. Next episode, we're going to make a movie.
Thank goodness.
Which is frankly what we should have been doing this whole time, I think. But should is a dirty word. Should is a dirty word. We might have been making one, but as we had talked about, it would have been a shitty one. So next week we're coming back with a good movie that you'll pick from the vault at beermethatmovie.com.
That's right. Our feet are wet. We're back in the pool. Now we get to cannonball into the deep end with you all next week. So pick that vault beer. We're going to the clouds. Are we jumping into some mom jeans? I don't know. You guys hold the key and the answer. Vote with your heart or your head or your gut or whatever. But until then,
peace.
Punch.
Give me your. Thanks for tuning back in.
Thanks, y'all.